There's this quiet moment in Dead Space, right before everything goes wrong, where you're standing in the vacuum of space, alone. No monsters, no screaming, just your breath. And for a second you think, maybe it's over. Maybe you're safe. And then it hits you. That thought. That little spark. That's hope. And hope's gonna get you killed.
It's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything. I wish I could just talk to someone. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening. It's strange. Such a little thing.
Hope is the first thing we latch onto in Dead Space. When Isaac Clarke boards the USG Ishimura, he's not a hero, he's not a soldier, he's just a man chasing hope. The hope that his girlfriend, Nicole, might still be alive. The hope that the ship can be fixed and that people can be saved, and here that logic still applies. But the Dead Space series doesn't reward hope, it punishes it. Every time Isaac believes, every time he dares to imagine a better outcome, the universe burns that belief down to ash. Dead Space teaches us early that hope is dangerous, because hope makes us ignore the signs. It makes us walk into darkness thinking there's still light at the end. And isn't that just human? We hope because we need to, even when it hurts, even when it makes us blind. The real enemy in Dead Space isn't just the necromorphs, it's the marker. A symbol, a signal, and a lie. It offers salvation, enlightenment, even eternal life. It wraps itself in the language of hope, but it's a siren song for the weak, for the desperate. The marker doesn't kill you outright. It whispers, it shows you what you want to see, and for Isaac, that's Nicole. Even after everything, part of him believes she might still be real, and that belief, that hope, is what keeps him in chains. Dead Space 2 makes it explicit, Isaac is haunted. Not just by monsters, but by the memory, by the echo of a voice that says, Isaac, can you hear me? Because if it can make you believe in something better, it can control you completely. Here's the thing, hope feels like strength. We survive because we hope. That's our programming. When Isaac keeps going, when he builds weapons out of mining tools, when he repairs systems no one else can, it's because somewhere inside he believes he can save someone. He thinks that effort matters. And you might ask, isn't that noble? Isn't that the good kind of hope? But look at the cost. By the time we reach Dead Space 3, Isaac isn't driven by hope. He's exhausted, hollow. He's been used as a weapon by EarthGov, by unitologists, even by his friends. The only reason he keeps going is because he doesn't know how to stop. Hope has turned into obligation, into guilt. He doesn't believe he'll make it out. Not really. But everyone around him still believes in him, so he pretends to believe too. Hope becomes a mask. Sometimes pretending long enough is worse than giving up. Nicole is the perfect metaphor for hope in Dead Space. She's dead from the beginning, we just don't know it yet, but Isaac does. Somewhere deep down he knows, he just doesn't want to face it. So he clings to her memory, he reconstructs her in his head, and the marker uses that. Nicole becomes a symbol, not of love, but of refusal. Refusal to let go. Refusal to accept the truth. And isn't that what hope often is? Our way of keeping the dead thing alive? Whatever that is, a relationship, a belief, even a version of herself that doesn't exist anymore. In the end, Isaac has to confront her, has to kill the hallucination of her, has to let go of what he hoped for to finally be free. Hope doesn't save him, acceptance does. By Dead Space 3, the series is loud, bombastic, full of explosions and action, but Isaac is quiet. The man who started this story is barely there anymore. He's lost his mother, his sanity, his partner, his body, piece by piece. And what's left is someone who doesn't hope. He just acts. He chooses to stay behind, not because he thinks he'll survive, but because it's the right thing to do. That's not hope. That's clarity. And maybe that's the lesson of Dead Space. Hope isn't strength. Letting go is. You see, we tell ourselves hope is what makes us human, but maybe it's the opposite. Maybe acceptance is what lets us evolve. To feel the loss, to understand the futility, and still move forward. Nicole was never coming back. That truth is obvious. The game tells us outright, but Isaac can't let it go, because he isn't just holding on to Nicole. He's holding on to himself, to who he used to be, to the man who loved her, to the version of his life that existed before all of this, before the marker, before the Ishimura, before the madness. But the more he clings to that memory, the more it corrodes. The marker turned Nicole into a weapon, not because she's a ghost, but because she's familiar, comforting. The hallucination isn't just horror, it's seductive. But that version of Isaac is dead, and has been for a long time. And the longer he refuses to let go, the more fragmented he becomes. Not haunted, divided. Dead Space isn't just a descent into horror, it's the collapse of identity. A slow erosion of the boundaries between memory, guilt, and reality. Until Isaac doesn't even know which part of himself are real anymore. Hope, in this context, is self-preservation gone wrong. The refusal to mourn, to evolve. Meaning is what we build to survive. It's how we cope. It's how we justify the pain. How we thread hope through chaos. To tell ourselves that this is all going somewhere. That the horror matters. But what happens when the story no longer makes sense? When the mission becomes abstract? When you're the only one left? In Dead Space 3, Isaac isn't chasing hope. He's chasing closure. But he doesn't even know what that looks like anymore. He's followed every clue, destroyed every marker, made every sacrifice, and still it keeps going. The necromorphs return, the voices don't stop, and the universe keeps unraveling. And at a certain point, hope becomes absurd. Not poetic, not inspirational, absurd. And yet, Isaac keeps going. Maybe not because he believes he can win, but because the moment he stops, the void becomes inevitable, undeniable. The silence becomes total, and he has to face the final truth. There is no grand arc, no cosmic resolution, just entropy. And if you look too long into it, if you really accept it, something inside you dies. So we don't. We keep hoping, because the alternative is too vast. You can feel the echoes of Isaac's story in your own life, if you choose to sit with them. Because Dead Space isn't just horror, it's a reflection. A mirror held to the part of us we don't talk about. The part that believes, quietly, irrationally, that something better is just around the corner. That there's meaning in the noise, a pattern in the pain. But maybe there isn't. Maybe the universe is cold, unfeeling, vast and silent. And maybe hope is just our way of drawing shapes into static. And yet, we still do it. We still hope. We still fight. We still imagine some version of tomorrow, even if we know deep down it's built on nothing. Isaac survives not because he believes in that hope, but because he confronts what it costs him. And maybe that's the point. Hope isn't the answer. It's the question we keep asking, over and over, even when we already know the answer, even when the answer is silence.